Hello and welcome to Elevated Mindset, a supportive community focused on self-improvement. Have you ever wondered why some of your best ideas come to you in the shower, during a walk, or right before you fall asleep? What if I told you there's actually a scientific method behind these Eureka moments, and you can deliberately trigger them whenever you need a breakthrough? Today, I'm going to reveal the Eureka method, a powerful technique that the greatest minds in history have unknowingly used to unlock their creative genius. Picture this. It's 1865, and August Kekulé, a German chemist, has been struggling for months to understand the structure of benzene. Traditional approaches have failed him completely. Then, exhausted from his efforts, he dozes off by his fireplace. In his dream, he sees a snake eating its own tail, and suddenly it hits him. The benzene ring. This single moment of insight revolutionized organic chemistry and earned him a place in scientific history. But here's what's fascinating. Kekulé didn't stumble upon this breakthrough by accident. He had unknowingly followed a precise mental process that you can learn and apply to any challenge in your life. The Eureka method isn't some mystical process reserved for geniuses. It's a systematic approach to creative problem solving that anyone can master. When you understand how your brain actually generates insights, you gain the power to become your own breakthrough machine. Whether you're stuck on a work project, trying to solve a personal dilemma, or searching for your next big idea, this method will transform how you approach challenges. But before we dive into the technique, let's understand what's actually happening in your brain during those magical Eureka moments. Neuroscientists have discovered that breakthrough insights occur when your brain makes unexpected connections between seemingly unrelated concepts. It's like having scattered puzzle pieces suddenly snap together to reveal a complete picture. The key is that these connections happen in your subconscious mind, not through deliberate conscious effort. Think about the last time you had a great idea. I bet it didn't come while you were intensely focused on the problem. Instead, it probably emerged when you were relaxed, distracted, or doing something completely different. This isn't coincidence, it's how your brain is designed to work. Your conscious mind is excellent at analyzing and organizing information, but it's terrible at making creative leaps. That's where your subconscious comes in. Your subconscious mind is like a master chef working behind the scenes, taking all the ingredients you've fed it through conscious study and mixing them in unexpected ways. But here's the crucial part. It needs specific conditions to do its best work. The Eureka method creates those perfect conditions systematically. The method consists of 4 distinct phases, and each one is essential for maximum effectiveness. Miss any phase and you're significantly reducing your chances of breakthrough insights. The beauty is that once you understand this process, you can apply it to any type of problem, from technical challenges to creative projects to life decisions. Phase 1 is what I call intensive loading. This is where most people make their first mistake. They think if they just think harder about a problem, the solution will magically appear. But intensive loading isn't about thinking harder, it's about thinking smarter. You need to systematically feed your subconscious mind with relevant information, but you also need to approach this information from multiple angles. Start by defining your challenge as specifically as possible. Vague problems generate vague solutions. Instead of saying, "I need a better marketing strategy," ask, "How can I increase customer engagement with my content by 30% in the next 60 days?" Specificity gives your subconscious mind a clear target to work toward. Next, research everything you can about your challenge, but don't limit yourself to obvious sources. If you're solving a business problem, look at how nature handles similar challenges. The goal is to load your mind with diverse information that can potentially connect in unexpected ways. Here's a technique that will supercharge your loading phase. The random connection exercise. Take your clearly defined problem and write it at the top of a page. Then, open a dictionary to a random page and point to a random word. Force yourself to find 3 connections between that random words and your problem. This might seem silly, but you're literally training your brain to make unexpected associations. During the loading phase, ask yourself unusual questions. Instead of, "What's the solution?" ask, "What would the solution look like if I had unlimited resources?" Or, "How would a child approach this problem?" Or, "What would happen if I deliberately did the opposite of conventional wisdom?" These unconventional questions force your brain to explore territories it wouldn't normally visit. Phase 2 is strategic disengagement, and this is where most people fail completely. After loading their minds with information, they keep consciously wrestling with the problem. This is like trying to help a seed grow by constantly digging it up to check its progress. Your subconscious needs space to work its magic. Strategic disengagement means deliberately turning your conscious attention away from the problem. But this isn't passive waiting, it's active distraction with specific activities that optimize your brain state for insight generation. Physical movement is particularly powerful because it increases blood flow to the brain and stimulates the production of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which enhances neural connections. Take a walk without your phone, do some light exercise, or engage in repetitive activities like washing dishes or folding laundry. These activities occupy just enough of your conscious mind to prevent you from consciously wrestling with the problem while keeping you in a relaxed, receptive state. Here's a fascinating discovery. Insights are most likely to occur during activities that put you in a mildly positive mood while requiring minimal cognitive effort. This is why people often get great ideas in the shower, during meditation, or while listening to music. Your brain needs to be relaxed but alert, engaged but not overwhelmed. The duration of disengagement varies depending on the complexity of your problem and your individual neural processing speed. Simple problems might resolve in minutes, while complex challenges could require hours or even days of strategic disengagement. Trust the process and resist the urge to consciously return to problem-solving mode too early. Phase 3 is the Eureka moment itself, and while you can't force it to happen, you can recognize it when it arrives and maximize its impact. True insights often feel different from regular thoughts. They tend to arrive suddenly, feel obviously correct, and come with a sense of certainty that you rarely experience with conscious reasoning. When an insight strikes, capture it immediately. Keep a notebook, voice recorder, or phone app readily available because insights can be surprisingly fragile. You might think you'll remember that brilliant idea, but research shows that we forget up to 50% of our insights within minutes if we don't record them. But capturing the insight is just the beginning. The real power comes from expanding on it immediately. As soon as you record your core insight, spend a few minutes exploring its implications. What does this insight suggest about related problems? How could you apply this principle in other areas of your life? What new questions does this answer raise? Phase 4 is systematic implementation, where you transform your insight into reality. This phase separates dreamers from achievers. A brilliant insight without implementation is just an interesting thought. You need a systematic approach to testing, refining, and executing your breakthrough ideas. Start by identifying the smallest possible version of your insight that you can test quickly and inexpensively. If your Eureka moment suggests a new business approach, don't quit your job and invest your life savings. Instead, run a small pilot test to validate the core concept. If you've had an insight about improving a relationship, start with one small change in your behavior rather than attempting a complete transformation overnight. Track the results of your implementation carefully. Sometimes insights need refinement before they deliver their full potential. Other times, the act of implementing one insight generates additional insights that lead to even better solutions. Now, let me share some advanced techniques that will amplify your Eureka method results. First, create what I call insight triggers throughout your environment. These are visual or sensory cues that remind you to pay attention when your mind is in a receptive state. It could be a specific piece of music, a particular location, or even a physical object that you associate with breakthrough thinking. Second, develop the habit of insight journaling. Beyond just capturing individual insights, track patterns in when and how your best ideas arrive. You might discover that your most creative insights happen at specific times of day, in particular locations, or following certain activities. This self-knowledge allows you to optimize your insight generation process. Third, practice what I call cross-domain fertilization. Deliberately expose yourself to information and experiences outside your usual areas of interest. The most revolutionary insights often come from applying principles from one field to completely different domains. Netflix revolutionized video rental by applying software principles to physical media distribution. Velcro was invented by studying how burr seeds stick to animal fur. The Eureka method isn't just about solving immediate problems. It's about developing a sustainable system for breakthrough thinking throughout your life. When you master this process, you'll find that challenges become opportunities for creative growth rather than sources of stress and frustration. Remember, every expert was once a beginner, and every genius was once someone who simply learned to think more effectively. The Eureka method is your roadmap to joining their ranks. Start applying these 4 phases to whatever challenge you're currently facing, and prepare to surprise yourself with the brilliance that's already within you. The only question now is, what breakthrough will you discover first? Subscribe to our channel for more insightful content. Don't forget to like and share this video with friends who might benefit from these strategies. If you enjoyed this video and found it informational, drop a comment below, letting us know your thoughts. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.